So how's things going otherwise, man?
Um,
With you, with work, with life, everything. It's been a while. We haven't seen
I
each
know,
other
man.
and talked for a few months. It was a nice break. I really needed it, though.
Yeah, sure thing, sure thing. Just yeah, just work. I mean, everything else, I guess, okay. Just try to keep busy and just whatever. But other things are okay, I guess. Did you
And
see Godzilla minus one?
oh yeah, it's
Yeah, but I didn't get to see it yet.
oh I don't.
Now, I
You
guess they got
better
the black and white now. They released
minus
out.
minus one minus color. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it looks
I
really
haven't.
good. Um, the
I've heard
it's a
nothing but amazing things.
what's up for an Oscar?
Yeah,
Um,
yep. Did see
it
that.
is. I think Joe, it's one of the best of the series. Really, um, it's very
I heard it's
reminiscent.
probably
Sure.
as best as the since it's probably the best since the very first Godzilla film.
I think
I
so.
mean,
Yeah, it's right in line with like as far as the seriousness of the first
mhm.
one and also Shin Godzilla. But it's
Okay.
probably got the most compelling human story of any Godzilla film
Wow.
because it really builds up the human drama for the first 20 minutes of the movie, you
Okay.
know, in a way that's these characters have depth. There's a real story to them, you know. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
excellent. We'll talk more about it
everything.
because definitely go
Sure,
see it if you
sure.
can. If you can, go
Yeah,
see it. It's worth
yeah.
it.
Top.
Sure.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
Hey, man.
bonjour, Fred. How are you?
Hey, bonjour, bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Yes, man, I'm
Oui,
doing pretty great.
un petit amount, enough to get myself in trouble. You
That's
know, yes, I can ask for a bunch of
Don't worry.
cheese. Je voudrais beaucoup de fromage, s'il vous plaît. You know,
Ah, c'est bien. C'est bien, vous faites
très
bien.
bien. Yeah, ça va? Yeah. Um, it's been about 30 years since I've taken French in college, so I'm
I
a
get
little
it.
rusty.
I totally get it. I have to practice my English anyway, so that's fine.
Well, between your 96% proficiency in English and my 4% proficiency in French, I think we're going to be great.
Yeah, we can do it in English for sure, man. Don't worry.
Oui,
Totally.
oui, très bien, très bien. Um, it is really great to meet you. Welcome to Heavy Metal Horror.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, man. Great to meet you too, guys.
Yeah.
Really
yeah,
stoked to be here.
absolutely.
Will Ryan be joining us?
Unfortunately, no, he will not be joining us. He's busy tonight.
Okay, no problem. Um, that's fine. That's fine. We are really excited about this show, and we're gonna ask all kinds of fun questions. We're gonna have a good time,
For sure,
and
man.
just looking forward to getting to know you a little bit and hear more about Sons of Arrakis because we're both fans. So
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Totally great to hear, man. I'm really
yeah.
stoked that you guys listened to the album and liked it. It's really important for us to, yeah, it's really flattering actually. So thank you, guys.
Our pleasure. So
Yeah,
we're
our
gonna
pleasure.
do our amazing intro, and then we're gonna get right to the show. How's that?
That's great. Sounds
Dan?
good, man.
Excellent.
Do it.
This is Richard Clark
And Joe Katie.
of Among These Ashes, and you are listening to Heavy Metal Horror Podcast.
I am Montag, Mass Revolution. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, this is Chop Top, and stay tuned because this one's going to be beautiful.
And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kiddies, tonight we've got Fred Couture, vocals and guitars for a band called Sons of Arrakis. Fred, welcome to
Hey,
Heavy Metal Horror.
thank you very much for inviting me, man. It's really stoked to be here tonight.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We are really excited because we're not only are we both fans of stoner doom metal, uh, but we're also Herbert fans. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm gonna be nerding out. I'm really excited to get the nerd out with someone who likes Dune as much as you guys obviously do. Um,
of course.
So we like to kind of start off with some background questions, and we're going to have a lot
Yeah.
of fun questions, and
Mhm.
we try to do things that other podcasts don't do. Kind of ask the questions and have things that are a little more interactive with our guests.
That's
So,
perfect.
um, but we'll start with some kind of broad base questions
Yeah.
for you. When did you first get into music?
Oh man, it's been a long time. Actually, I've been into music since I'm a kid. Since I'm 7 years old, actually, I learned to play piano. I had piano lesson at home. So yeah, basically, it's been a really long time. But I've always been into music. My mother and father always put music on. Neil Young, like Nirvana Unplugged when I was a kid really influenced me. And some music in French from Quebec and Montreal that are really influenced me as well. But you know, mainly rock and roll music. I've been introduced to metal, heavy metal, by my father when I was 10, and quickly wanted to learn music and to learn to play guitar after that. For sure, it was something that really hit me. When I was in high school, I actually played in an orchestra and I played bass. I was the lucky one who played bass. So, uh,
Cool.
so yeah, man, for sure. And after that, there was also, man, this movie. When I was a kid, I was maybe 10 years old or 11 years old, and it just fucking floored me. Jack Black with the School of Rock and all that shit. That really turned me on into rock and roll music and all that stuff. So yeah. And then of course my father, when he introduced me to metal music, he immediately talked to me about Black Sabbath. Um, the first album he ever bought as a teenager was Master of Reality. So he did the same for me. Actually, he
Mhm.
bought it for me. It was a gift, and yeah, for sure, I listen to it every time, and it's my go-to album for when it comes to metal and stoner rock music. I always listen to this particular album.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Mhm.
So was it Black Sabbath that kind of got you into the whole stoner metal vibe then?
Yeah, stoner metal vibe. Actually, yes. Actually, it was more about rock and roll for me when I was a
Mm.
kid.
Hmm.
After that, I played music in several bands. I played in a band called Reckless Ride. It was kind of cheesy rock and roll music. We were really into glam rock music and all that
Nice.
kind of shitty shit.
Yeah, go through a lot
But
of hairspray and wear the neon spandex.
Yeah. The makeup.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a little bit more like Guns N' Roses kind of
Okay.
glam rock. So it wasn't like air metal. It was
Yeah.
more like rock and roll, like
Yeah.
Aerosmith
Sure.
Right.
and the Rolling Stones, and then
Yeah.
Guns N'
Groin
Roses.
rock. It's a yeah,
Yeah.
rock you play with your groin. Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
And yeah, that really it really forged me, because those early years of music when I with my band, since I was maybe I formed that band when I was 15 years old, and we played a lot of small gigs around Quebec area, Montreal area, and it was pretty fun, man. It just really forged what I am today as a musician.
Hmm.
And then I played after that in this band called the Hazy Tones from Montreal as well. I played bass, and I recorded everything for the first album. I recorded basically drums, bass, the guitars, and all that stuff. I was kind of the producer of the first the first LP for the Hazy Tones, and after that, I was a little bit tired of this band, and I decided to start my own project, Sons of Arrakis. So yeah, that's pretty much the story behind this. Oh
Nice.
yeah, how I started music and all.
That's good. So what's the metal scene in Montreal like?
The metal scene in Montreal is really, it's cool. It's beginning to take form a lot. There's a lot of underground bands. Um, And for example, the AZ Towns, there's A Sound, there's Sorceress, Occult Witches that play a lot in Montreal. There is Sum, a band from Montreal that is a little bit more on the sludgy side. There's a lot of cool stuff actually, but it's still in the underground. There's a bigger band called uh, Dope Throne. I'm sure you know that band. Do you know this band, Dope Throne?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I've not
Okay.
heard of it.
So, but they really they're really well known in the Montreal area and the doom, sludge, and stoner rock scene. They're I think they're like way ahead of us a little bit. And
Mhm.
then in Toronto, there's really cool bands as well. There's Ox that we play often with them. When we try to reach in the middle. Actually, we did a tour last year in the winter, 2022. Yeah, we did a tour with them in the winter, and it was really cool, man. It was in Quebec, in Ontario. We played maybe 8 gigs together, and it was cool. There's a lot of there's also Tumble that I really like from Toronto. There's Electric Cactus, Low Orbit, that is really a band that I really like, and they are really cool guys as well. So, yeah, all of those bands revolve around the Canadian music scene, but it's hard to build something really solid. But with Ryan, actually from Black Throne Production, we try to to build something that is really consistent enough to do to tour, and consistent enough to invite people from and bands from the outside of Canada to
Mhm.
come and gig with us. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
pretty
only a
much.
few hours away from us. We're in Northern Ohio. So
Yeah,
you're not too far away.
yeah, it's really actually is really close. From Montreal, New York City is maybe 6-7 hour drive, and it's kind of the same from Montreal to Toronto. It's maybe 5 or 6 hour drive. So yeah,
Mhm.
we're really near from each other for sure,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We've got to get you to come down to the States. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Come to
would be
Cleveland.
really, really cool. Actually, we're looking to find a way to get in, but as you know, it's really complicated for the
Yeah.
visas.
Right. Yeah, they changed the visa laws a couple years ago, and I know it's a lot of hoops to jump through, and you got to get your passports. And it used to be
Yeah,
such an open and porous border, but it's not anymore. Yeah.
it isn't. No, it is really complicated. And if we want to, let's say, work in the
Hmm.
United States, you have to get a B2 visa, which is a really long process. Actually, it's maybe a 3 months process to have the visa, and it's really expensive as well. It
Yeah.
got way more expensive than a couple years ago. So yeah, but
So I guess,
it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of getting the right opportunity.
yeah, we'll just have to come see you then. We'll just make a road trip,
Yeah.
Chop. We're going to go
Of
see
course,
Yeah.
Sons of
We're
Arrakis.
gonna go see Sons of
Yeah,
Arrakis.
we're
Yeah.
gonna go.
We're
We're gonna
see
go
it.
to Quebec.
There
yeah,
we go.
come to Montreal. Come to
That'd be
Montreal.
awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. Wh what do you think about stoner or doom metal works so well with the concept of Dune? You know, what do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah.
How do those meld for you?
I think it just got natural for me. I was in that band called the AZ Tones and all that stuff. So it basically at first we didn't consider ourselves um, as playing stoner rock music. They basically just adopt adopt what we do, and they just basically um, the stoner rock niche is really, people are really inviting, people are really like almost a small family, and they just adopt us,
Hmm.
and after that it got clear for the second album with the Hazy Tones that they were really much into this stoner rock and doom scene, and they just assumed that. And it's kind of the same thing with Sons of Arrakis. When I composed and wrote the lyrics for the for Volume 1, the first album, I just immediately got, it wasn't even a question. I do what I do. It's stoner rock music, rock and roll music, metal music, and just revolve around that. And it's always been like that. The first album that I really got into when I was a kid was Master of Reality from Black Sabbath. So just uh, it's just logical. It's just a
It was like a natural
continuity of
extension.
this.
Yeah, it was a natural
Yeah.
extension.
Sure, yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
exactly. Just the
Yeah.
continuity of all of this is just a natural extension of what I do since
Mhm.
I'm a kid. So yeah.
So does that you're being a fan of Frank Herbert and his Dune books, do you think that that music works really well with his science fiction concepts? Because other bands,
Yeah.
another we interviewed
First.
Michel Langevin of Voivod, and they
Yeah.
do science fiction and things like that. But it's very different, prog and metal. Do you think there's a really good connection? Like when you think about Dune and Frank Herbert,
Yeah.
and this, because my previous only experience of hearing a song about Dune, which is what made me love this band even more, was Iron Maiden's "To Tame a
Yeah,
Land."
that's true.
I'm like, oh fuck, okay, these guys, okay, yeah, they're my band. Um, but within like 5 seconds of hearing your album, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm sold because I love that sound. And hearing like another group of nerds writing songs about Dune, I'm like, okay, these guys we're gonna be friends, we're gonna be blood brothers.
Yes, of
Just
course. Yeah.
the spice must flow.
Yeah, for sure. And the question at first, I don't think I responded well to the question actually. Yeah, the question at the base was, why do you think like stoner rock and Dune fit together
Yeah.
that well? There's this idea of desert rock music as well in stoner rock, doom rock. There's this stoner rock music and desert rock music.
Like
So
Caius.
like Caius, for example,
Yeah,
for sure. I think that fits because it's just a vibe.
sure.
This music kind of reminds the deep desert from Dune in a way.
Hmm.
I think the like Caius reminds the desert, and for example near Palm Spring desert and all that stuff. So yeah, there's it's like there's connection between the two kind between Dune and desert rock music for
Yeah,
sure.
it
I
makes
think.
sense now. I can
Yeah.
totally see that.
And,
Yeah. The vibe is very similar.
Yeah, because you're
and we
actually
tried.
you're visualizing that in your head as you're
Yes, we're
probably
gonna.
doing the riff or whatever, and you're visualizing it's a desert kind of, it's desolate,
Kind
all
of
these kind of visions and stuff from the Dune novels and whatnot. So
exactly,
yeah.
it's kind of a picture that we can depict in our head for sure when you listen to that music. And there's also a big science fiction and like kind of cinematic kind of vibe into our music that we try to infuse as much as possible, like droning effects, like orchestral guitars, like Francis do, that are really cool. For example, in our song Abomination, there's a really big orchestration of many guitars that are layered together. Yeah, that's our kind of thing that we do to have like this cinematic kind of vibe.
Nice.
Yeah, and you definitely, as a listener and a fan, you definitely get that vibe when you're listening to your guys' music.
Hmm.
That comes across exactly. Like first time I heard what song was the first time I said, "Oh, Sons of Arrakis, check this out," and I was just like, "Oh yeah," it just hit me right there. I was in it, and I was like, I was a fan. That was it.
That's
After that, so
really cool.
but yeah,
Thank
you
you,
do get
and
that.
thanks for
Yeah, you do
coming.
get that effect. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great sound. So
Mhm.
so what excuse me. What about Herbert's masterpiece saga, Dune?
Yeah,
Do you love so much?
I really love this because there's so much things that are close to us in a way. That science fiction is a mirror of our society. And I think this is really interesting about Frank Herbert's Dune is when you when you concentrate more about, it's really there's like a political tension in the book that I really like. There's a matter of about the control of the resources, for example, in the Middle East, that we can definitely do a parallel between those things. AI, the um, artificial intelligence is more and more important in we talk uh, more and more about AI in our society, and it's questioned. In the Dune novel, they got rid of the technology, got rid of the computer, and this is really interesting because it's really something that we'll have to face maybe in 100 years or 200 years, and it's just interesting to see what's up. And it's just his vision. Frank Herbert's vision is so rich, it's so interesting. There's so many themes that are cool. It's you can it's ethics, it's like philosophy, it's like politics at the same time. It's like this is what interests me the most, because first of all, I'm a geography and history teacher as well.
Cool.
Wow, really cool.
So, so I'm really interested into all of those. All of those topics are really interesting for me. That's why I really love Frank Herbert.
Yeah, he's a stellar writer. And I love how subtle he works in, like the Bene Gesserit. Like their program spans thousands and thousands of years, and that's what about those Dune books. There are thousands of years between them sometimes, and you see the effects of like this breeding programs and like the subtle hints of like laying the message of the Bene Gesserit and of the Messiah, all these themes that he brings in, and then the politics, and then the ecology, and it's so complex and masterfully
It
done.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dune for decades was my favorite book, until I read God Emperor of Dune, which I think was better. It was one of the few books where I read it and I did not want to get to the end. Like I enjoyed spending so much time with Leto in his massive, scary worm form, because his character was so intriguing, and because he had all the memories of all the Reverend Mothers, and it's like you could just sit and listen to him talk, because he knew the history of like everything and could see everything, and his grand plan of the scattering, and it's just like the scope of his scale is just majestic. It's unparalleled in any other fiction. I can't anything. There's nothing close to it.
Yeah, he's a really complex character for sure. Leto and the God Emperor. But he's kind of vulnerable, and that's kind of interesting, man. There's a song about in Sons of Arrakis that talks about this character. Actually, it's called Omniscient Messiah. It's our second single from volume 1, and it really influenced me. This book, The God Emperor, really influenced me in writing this song. And it talks about this he knows everything basically. He's like omniscient. Is that what?
Omniscient. Yeah.
Omniscient. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. I wouldn't know how to say it in French, so you are perfectly fine.
Yeah, thank you, man. And
I don't even speak English that well half the time, so you're fine.
That's true. Chops barely speaks English, so it's okay.
So at the same time, he knows everything. He knows the future, what's gonna happen, and all that stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to spoil anything. Spoiler alert! But he dies at the end of the fucking book, and this is it. Everyone is vulnerable in a way,
Yeah.
And it kind of, in this particularly really interested me. It really floated me at the end. He died. Oh, that is possible. Anyway, so for sure.
Yeah, it's saddened me.
It's really interesting to be in the head of this powerful character for 400 pages.
Yeah. Oh, it's mesmerizing, and terrifying, and And even though he knows he's going to die, like he knows it's going to happen, but he has to do it. Like this is his
Yeah,
sacrifice. Because
exactly.
if he doesn't die, then his big plan for humanity isn't going to happen. And he
Yeah,
knows it's going to be thousands of years after his death that this consciousness is going to awaken and kind of bring people back,
yeah.
and provoke humanity to once again kind of take over for themselves.
But
And
it's but at the same time really terrible because, as you may know,
mhm,
like Paul Atreides is like just bail out on this golden path, and
mhm,
he saw this and he saw what would happen. He saw this violence and just bail out on everything.
yeah.
But the God Emperor has to do it, but it has consequences for thousands of years after that.
Oh yeah.
After
Yeah.
and the next single for Sons of Arrakis that we release um at the end of February is called The Scattering.
Mm,
It's
mhm,
called it's in this in this it talks about the scattering and what happens
right.
after the death of the God Emperor. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically.
It's an intriguing concept. It's one of the things at first about Dune that I didn't like was that by the time you get to even like the third book or by the time you get to God Emperor, like all the characters I fell in love with the first book are gone.
Yeah,
Like, but you have that string, that thread that continues on through Leto. You have that thread that continues on because no matter who's alive or dead, the bigger plans are still going on. Whether it's the
yeah,
Ixians or whether it's the Tleilaxu or the Bene Gesserit, there's always these like plans within designs, within
yeah,
schemes, and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter who's alive because this big picture is still going on.
yeah,
And
totally. And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what is really interesting about Dune. It's like plans within plans, and it's always it's not like predictable. It's unpredictable, and that's what
Hmm.
make this story intriguing, of
Hmm.
course. And that's why I really like Frank Herbert and Dune
Yeah.
in general. I think it's really, you know, you you, you can't like figure out what's happening. It's always changing, and
Yeah.
it's always changing direction almost.
Yeah. He doesn't spoon feed you. He doesn't give explanations for things. His actual writing style is pretty spare as far as like details. It's just enough to let you know what's going on, but he gives you enough so that you can imagine, you can kind of fill in the details,
Yeah,
which is nice.
that's what I really like about this too, is that there's not, yeah, for sure there's descriptions and all that stuff, but there's explanation sometimes, but you know
Not
from
always like
time to
a
time and all
chair
that
dog.
stuff.
Took me 3 books to like chair dog. Like, okay, is this a dog that's a chair or is this what it's called? Like, because he doesn't even like describe it. It's like sat in a chair dog. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
okay, great.
exactly, that is this. So
Right, right.
you have to really work hard when when you read this book. You really have to work hard to figure out what's happening and connect all the dots that
Yeah,
finally you have a big picture after that. But yeah,
yeah.
it's really complicated, it's really
It
long.
is. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
So which book in the series is your favorite?
it's really hard to tell for sure, man. I think the
Hmm.
first one is classic. I think
Yeah.
it's like the introduction of it all in, and that's why I didn't read, by the way. I just want to make sure that you guys, sorry about that.
It's okay.
I was a brain freeze, but
Do it all the time.
the reason why I read like the second book, the third book, and the fourth one, uh, I stopped after the God Emperor, just to say. But I figured, I did all my research after that. Before I write a song, I do a lot of research. uh, but my favorite book is the first book because it really gives me, um, I really wanted to read the other books after that.
Hmm. Yeah.
I really want to dig further into that because of the first book.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I wish
So
you'd
I
written
would
10
say the
more.
first. Yeah, but it's a really long process. But I'm still young, so I get the time.
Right, right.
I really get the time to read all of those books.
Yeah. I keep on reading Heretics and I get stuck about halfway and I've started it
Yeah,
like 8 times and I just need to sit down and finish the book, you know?
yeah,
It just for some reason I just can't get into it as much as I have the other ones. You know,
yeah,
I
totally.
can see I'm enough end where I know what's going on. I understand where we're gonna head, but I just like put it down for whatever reason and then I just forget to put it back up, you know?
Yeah, exactly where I stopped. Actually, I think it's the fifth book, right?
Yep,
It's the
yep.
fifth one. Yeah, exactly the same thing. I read, like, for example, the 51st pages of the book, and after that, I just put it down. I needed a break after a certain time, after maybe I'm not sure how many pages the first four books are, maybe 2,000 pages. I needed a
Hmm.
break,
Yeah,
needed some time to relax before to um, diving into those books again. So
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Of the movie versions, which one is your favorite, or have you seen any of the versions?
Yes, I saw um actually the all the versions. uh, David Lynch version for sure is a classic, but it's really odd, man. It's so odd.
Yeah, it's off. It's off kilter. It
Yeah.
looks pretty, but the
Yeah.
story's off. But I hear there's like a 5.5 hour version out there, and which may be the better version to see because it
Maybe.
takes the time to tell the story, right?
Yeah, of course, it's really long. You have to. There's a. I would have liked to see Yodorovsky version,
Yeah. The
but
documentary is amazing. Like, yeah, to see
it
what
is
he
really
could have
cool.
done with that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
it would have
but
been mind.
my favorite version is definitely the Denis Villeneuve,
Hmm.
and it's really cool because he's from Montreal as well, so he's from Quebec. I really relate with him in a way. He is a big Dune fan, and I really love this. I really love this director. Um, since the beginning of his career, before Hollywood, he's
Hmm.
actor, and he did movies in French also
Hmm.
are really good, excellent movies, and I respect him a lot. I think Dune, the first, uh, I think his first movie uh, for Dune is really great,
Hmm.
but I think it's kind
And
of a
part two's coming
blockbuster.
out this year, I think. Yeah, it's going to
Hmm.
come out this year. Yeah.
Excited about that.
Yeah, and it's coming like at the beginning of March.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's sure that I will go watch this movie for sure, man. But I
Yeah.
think it's like it's a little bit cheesy, man. It's a little bit like big Hollywood movie that
Hmm.
it's not in this. Uh, I think it's a little bit far away from his style initially.
Hmm.
Um, Too much action maybe because he's really a atmospheric kind of guy.
Hmm.
He takes the time to put every scene is important. Every character in it. Often his movies are really slow, and I think the first movie from Dune. I think it is not my favorite movie from Denis Villeneuve,
Hmm.
but it's I think it's the best version ever made
It's
from
beautiful. Yeah.
for
Yeah,
Dune.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Have you seen the Sci-Fi Channel version?
It is.
The TV made for TV movie? Oh, I'm freezing up.
Um, Excuse me, I didn't get it.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I might be freezing up on mine end. The Sci-Fi Channel, Science Fiction Channel, did a made for TV version. It was about
yeah, yeah,
4.5, 5 hours. Have you seen that
That was
version?
great.
yeah. I seen it. I
Yeah.
think it's. I think this is it really respected well what is Dune, what Dune
Mhm.
is all about. And I think it was really more representative of the books. I think it respected more story in general. So yes, I really appreciated those
Mhm.
Dune miniseries. I really like this.
Yeah,
But
they're
I
very
think
faithful.
they're faithful to the books, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But I think, to be honest, I think Denis Villeneuve is a better movie. It's beautiful. The pictures are really amazing.
Yeah. The
I
costumes,
really
the
like.
look, the whole look of the film is stunning.
Yeah, man. And the best scene is the ganja bar. It is so amazing. It's um, I think it's one of my favorite scene of the movie, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
So yeah,
yeah, the influence that Herbert has. I'm thinking there's another movie that has like a Gamja bar kind of thing in it, but I can't remember what it is. Where there's a scene where the kid's putting his hand in the box. I'm like, that's the Gamja bar. I know what that is
yes.
because he's feeling all this pain and always seeing these things. I'm like, come on, you guys got to get sued by Frank Herbert's estate. Um, but yeah, no, it's just brilliant, you know. But I'm going to switch gears a little bit because we could nerd out on Dune all night.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
would like to talk a little bit about your musical
Yeah, for
heroes, like
sure.
who some of your musical heroes are, and have you been able to meet any of them?
Hmm. Man, this is a big question for real. To be honest, one of my favorite um, singer of all time is, and showman of all time is, I would say, musical hero is Ozzy Osbourne for sure, man. And everything that he does it with passion, and he looks like a humble person. Uh, he looks down to earth, even though he was into drugs when he was younger, and he was like all over the place. Um, the last few years when he got sober, he seems like a calm person. He seems like a humble guy that he has a lot to say, and yeah, it's I think it's honorable to see this guy want that he wants to continue, even though um, you know his accident and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and operation, I think it's really, I really admire him for his passion, and he wants to continue nevertheless. So yes, Ozzy Osbourne would be one of my hero. I didn't have the chance to meet him in person. Unfortunately, that would be sick. Maybe one day. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he'll
Um,
show up at one of your shows.
Mhm.
That'd be awesome.
wouldn't
Yeah, he'll
say
be
it.
out in the audience. He'll be out in the
That would
audience
be
going
fucking sick.
louder.
That would
Yeah,
be fucking sick.
Montu! Yeah.
It's it's not possible, I know, but it would be fucking great.
it's awesome.
A lot of music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Maybe another musical hero for me. This. Do you know this band uh, called Priestess? They are from Montreal.
I know the name, but I've not heard the music. But I
So
do know the name.
the
Chop, are you
Priestess.
familiar with them?
What was it again?
Priestess.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Priestess. I've heard of them, but I'm not familiar. Same with Montag. I'm not familiar with their tunes. Yeah.
It is a band from Montreal, and they got really famous in some way in 2005 and after that. And I was a teenager at that time, and when I heard the first LP, I was like, oh my god, this is really amazing music, really straightforward rock and roll with touches of metal. Stoner rock, of course, sounded a little bit like Black Sabbath, and I really
Cool.
thought that it was incredible. This guy, Mikey Epsner, is the lead singer and guitar player for in that band, Priestess. He always like blew me away. He really sings high, clean notes a little bit, and it really inspired me and really influences me in what I do right now. Is high pitching singing with a clean vocal. And he's a rhythm guitar, excellent rhythm guitarist, and this band really hit me up. When they got signed on Sony. Uh, they got signed on Sony, I think, on this major label, and they did their second album called Prior to the Fire, and this is something I tell you guys, more progressive compared to the first album. Prior to the Fire's pushed to the limits. It's rock and roll, but at the same time, it's progressive, a little bit metal in a way. Floored me completely, man. So yeah, one of my hero is Mike Hebner, and I had the chance to meet him, and he told me that he heard about Sons of Arrakis a few times. So yeah, I was really flattered about that, and it was just a big moment for me to meet him in Montreal.
Nice. That's awesome.
Really
That's
cool.
awesome. Well, speaking of touring, I know you have a tour coming up
Yeah,
in March. So what are you most excited about this new tour?
it is a new tour. I'm really excited because it's the first time that um, actually I'm really excited because we invited and we will host Salim's band from Los Angeles. It's a stoner rock band, desert rock from LA, and it's been almost a year since I spoke to him at first to invite him in Montreal in Canada, and Ryan and I really want to push that side of things. We really want um, to construct something in infrastructure in Canada, in Quebec and Ontario, to invite people from other bands from the United States or Europe to tour into Canada, because we want to, as I told you earlier at first, the rock and roll scene, metal scene in Canada is really underground, and we really want to build something um, that would be legit and that people would be interested in coming to Canada and offer something, decent condition for bands to come. So yeah, that's basically our main goal, and I'm really excited for this. That talent's been accepted to go to come to Canada with us. I'm really excited because the promo is going well. I'm sure that Montreal will be sold out. There's also Quebec City that we played with a band called Trush, that has a EP release that day, so it's gonna be packed. We play with Occult Witches as well. Sherbrooke, it's a small town in southeast of Montreal, maybe 1 hours or 2 hours drive from Montreal. And yeah, to go to Toronto and Hamilton, it's in Ontario. It's always cool to see our friends from Ox, friends from Tumble, Electric Cat, that we like and enjoy playing to. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice vibe.
Nice. Nice. I'm just going to take a break for just for 1 second. Your Chop, I'm not sure if you can hear this. Is the internet, is it kind of breaking up? Is his audio kind of getting garbled for you or no?
Yeah, it's gonna.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might just be the connection,
Sure.
Fred.
Sure.
Yeah.
Weather affecting it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything on my end. So that's fine. Yeah, we're excited. It'd be nice to see you guys sometime. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch gears again here, and we're going to do some hypothetical situations. We always like to kind of deal with hypotheticals. So, okay, Fred, an alien invasion. Okay, an alien shows up and asks you to represent metal in 3 songs. What would those 3 songs be, and why?
Oh my fucking
Easy,
god.
easy question, right?
Yeah, come
Oh
on.
my
There's no
god.
pressure.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I really fucking enjoy in terms of metal. I really enjoy Metallica, man. I know that it sounds a little bit odd, but it doesn't sound really cool to say so because I think it's Metallica is the biggest metal band in the universe, but I really enjoy Master of Puppets. Is my favorite album from Metallica. I would say Battery
Mm.
would be one song that I would choose. This is, I think, a good choice. It's a really big song, big intro song for Master of
Mhm.
Puppet. I would say Raining Blood, Slayer. I really like thrash metal.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, man, I really love Meshuggah too. It's more into death metal and all that stuff, more
Mhm.
into brutal and progressive death metal.
Mhm.
But I would choose maybe Cannibal Corpse, like Hammer Smash Face,
Nice.
something like that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
classic,
Well,
really
Covered in
classic. Just a
sores.
really
Yeah.
classic death metal song. I think that should be nailed on. I don't, I don't know,
yeah,
man.
it
Pretty
might make
hard.
the aliens think twice about invading us if we're writing
Uh-huh.
songs about getting smashed in the
Yeah.
face or
Yeah,
fucked with a
yeah,
knife, you know?
Heat
Yeah.
hook
yeah.
sodomy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
exactly. Yeah.
just icon blood. It's kind of
Yeah. There you go.
so yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, next hypothetical. If you could be a superhero for 24 hours, who would you be and what would you do with your day of power?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I would say, one of the biggest value that I have is honesty. All right. I think it's not. Uh, I think if I had a superpower, it would be to read people's mind every time, just to make sure people are really honest with them, and I would feel comfortable as well into this because when you can hear other people's thoughts, it's kind of comforting in a way. You're not you're not fucking weird. You're not the only weird person out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone is a little bit in a way.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Chop's on his own deep
I
end.
think
We don't want to
people
get into what hits in his mind, but
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to take a walk through this yeah, rose garden up here, let me tell you.
and I just wanted to, yeah, maybe read other people's mind to make sure, yeah,
yeah,
people are
nice.
honest, really honest.
Okay. And the last hypothetical, if you could turn one horror movie into a concept album, what movie would you choose?
Oh, I would choose Mandy with Panos Cosmatos. I think is the name of the director, um, who does Beyond the Black Rainbow as well. I'm not sure
Oh,
if it's the right name, but
yeah.
this movie Mandy with
Oh,
Nicolas Cage,
yeah.
it
That's a
is
trip. Yeah. And
it
brutal.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've
It
not
is
seen it, but
brutal,
I'll add
and
it to my list.
is a total mind fuck. I would say. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just really really weird, weird things like happening, and you don't know what's up. There's like characters like appearing out of nowhere, and they are really fucking
Terrible.
terrifying. Uh,
Nice. Okay.
yeah, so yeah. This is a pretty good horror movie, and it's cool to see Nicolas Cage into this kind of role. He's a really good,
Mhm.
he's a really good actor,
Yeah.
and it's it's cool to see him play in a different kind of movie from like the Phantom. I'm not sure, like the Ghost Rider or something like that.
Right.
Movies, but this movie is really phenomenal, and I really appreciate his acting.
Excellent. Well, we are heavy metal horror, so while we're going to continue with this horror theme,
Yeah.
what are aside from that one, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
You know, Mandy the Black Mirror, the Beyond the Black Rainbow is really cool. Really appreciate it. Wouldn't say I would say that these are kind of my favorite movies, but I have so many other horror movie that I like. I like the first two Scream movies. I really think they are epic. Like it's like a classical horror movie, yeah, with all those rules, you know, that are really interesting. And I think it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's really hard questions, guys. It's really fucking.
It's okay. It's
You're
good.
welcome,
You're doing a great
Fred.
job.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. So
Oh man, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Another horror movie that I really enjoy. I will think about it, all right? And
Sure.
I think it'd be nice to come back to it later. But
Yeah.
I have to think a little bit more.
No problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
when we meet up with you guys and we get backstage passes from you guys,
Oh.
then you can tell us your answer then.
Oh yeah. I have something in mind though at the moment. Sorry, guys. Like Midsommar.
Oh yeah.
Very
is
good.
really
It's really
crazy.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Really disturbing. Lately, I don't remember the title of this movie, but it's a movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and it's not a horror movie, but it's the same director from Midsommar.
Yeah.
He's like in a psychosis, and it's never ending. Man, it's so. This movie is totally crazy. I really liked it, but I felt bad. I felt bad after 3 hours of psychosis.
Wow.
Really bad.
I'll have to check it out because Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah. Joker is so fucking depressing. It's just
Yeah,
nihilistic. It's just, I mean, it's good, but it is brutal. It is hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a great actor, you know. So yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Now we're gonna I'm gonna ask you some one-off questions. These can be about anything.
Yeah.
So can you see, aside from Frank Herbert, who are some of your favorite writers or some of your favorite books?
I really like French writers like Albert Camus, who write a book called L'étranger, The Stranger. It's really cool. I really like it's existentialist. I think that's how we said it in English too.
Yeah, existential, right?
Existential writers, like Albert Camus. I really like Russian literature as well, but it's really harsh to read. Like Dostoevsky, Karamazov Brother was the last book I read from Dostoevsky, but it's really harsh, man. It's like a 2,000 pages book.
Yes, it's huge, like War and Peace. It's colossal,
man. But it's I felt like it's a little bit of a waste of time, to be honest, to read.
It's a little stark.
Classic, but I felt that it was a little bit of a waste of time. This was so fucking long. So yeah,
we can. Well, people didn't have anything to do back then, so the longer book was better for them. You know, they don't have entertainment like we do.
Yeah.
You know,
like our show. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. People have. I got nothing else to do. I'll watch heavy metal horror.
I read this book. It's a really interesting book that talks about the situation that Putin, like the Russian president Putin, and it's actually a novel called Kremlin Mage,
Mm.
and it is really phenomenal. If you want to understand more about the situation in Russia at the moment, it's really interesting to read this book. So the Kremlin Mage. What else? Oh yeah, Frank Franz Kafka. Metamorphosis is a
Yeah.
really interesting book, and
Kafka. Yeah. He's like
there's
a
a
fever
song.
dream. He's like a night. His stuff's so it's so nightmarish.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it's nightmarish for
Yeah.
sure. It's almost horror books,
Yeah.
and this guys just wake up being a bug,
Yeah.
basically, and everything that revolves, everything that he knows, just literal, just change around him, and it's
Hmm.
critic of the society of the the early uh, 1990s society that is really interesting too. And there's a song in on that will appear on volume 2. The dog's barking, sorry guys,
That's
but
fine.
there's a song that will appear on volume 2 that is called Metamorphosis.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice.
I'm really inspired. Not only Dune, but literature in general. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kafka is a really big influence too. So many things. Yeah, but I would say that for the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really inspiring.
I used to teach Kafka in my English classes from time to time. Some of his short
That's,
stories, and
that's really
in
cool.
the penal colony, and then try to get students to either watch or read the trial or the castle. It's just you just see
Yeah,
this
that
like
sounds great.
nightmare of bureaucracy, that this being shut out. You see all this horrible oppression. It's just if I'm just too fucking depressed to read it most of the time. So it's like I just put it away. It's like nope, no, I got enough to deal with. Franz Kafka, thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah, totally. I teach it. I teach Kafka to the Metamorphosis. In my French class because I was a French teacher at once, and yeah, the kids really liked it. And I teach like the last year of high school at the moment, at that particular moment, and the students really enjoyed when the discussion that emerged from that book
oh yeah,
particularly. Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Um, okay, we are going to play a couple games with you, Fred.
yeah.
The first game is called Blast Beats. I'm going to ask you a question, and you just give me an answer as soon as you can.
Oh man, I'm so shitty. I'm so
No,
shitty.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
but I
They're
will
all
try my
simple.
best.
Mostly, it's like a multiple, like a this or that kind of question, or a simple question. Like the first one is your favorite pizza topping.
Yeah, pepperoni.
Okay. Paperback or
Easy.
Kindle?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. Paperback or Kindle?
Kindle.
Favorite streaming service?
Apple Music, I guess.
Okay. Favorite cartoon character?
Homer Simpson.
No. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Yeah, yeah. Um, vanilla. I'm a vanilla guy.
All right. Dog or cat? Obviously, you have a dog, so I'm gonna guess dog.
Dog. Dog. Yeah, yeah, dog. Definitely.
Justice League or the Avengers?
Oh man, none of them. Sorry,
Okay.
I
All right.
don't really like superhero movies and all that stuff. I think it's really, yeah. I would say Avenger.
Okay. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars definitely.
Okay. Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
The Loch Ness Monster is really a H.P. Lovecraft kind
Yeah,
of vibe.
yeah. Yeah, I love Lovecraft. I taught some Lovecraft in my English classes too. It blew my students' minds out of the water. I had a student who was a big fan of Twilight, and she came up to me and
Yeah, yeah.
and said, I can never read Twilight again. Oh, I think Fred's gone. Oh, there he is. And I said, you're welcome.
I,
You know. Uh Yeah, okay. Dracula or Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
Okay. How do you like your steak cooked?
Raw.
There you go. Favorite sport?
Running.
Your favorite subject in school?
Geography.
Your least favorite subject in school?
Math.
Your favorite board game?
Oh, there's a lot. Fuck. Wait a minute. Um, there's so many, man. It's hard to pick one. Pass. I'll come back
Okay,
later.
no problem. Spielberg or
Sorry, man.
Tarantino?
Tarantino.
Okay. Your favorite Christmas gift?
Socks.
All right. The best concert you've ever attended?
You guys. Um, there's so many, man. Just say Mastodon.
Okay. And the last one, for this game, your favorite line or scene from This Is Spinal Tap?
Can you repeat, please?
Your favorite line or favorite scene from the movie This Is Spinal Tap? Are you familiar with
Um,
that movie?
This one goes to the 11.
There you go. Okay. Good. Yes.
Louder is better.
That's right. That's right. This is one louder. Yes.
This one louder.
This game is called the hot seat. It usually makes people a little uncomfortable sometimes.
Okay.
I'm going to name a band, and I want you to tell me your favorite album by that band.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
go.
Black Sabbath. I think I know that one.
Yeah, Master of Reality.
Mhm. Judas Priest.
Not much into Judas Priest, man. But I really like it, but I never got into the albums, man. It's a shame. Sorry.
Okay. No problem.
Yep.
Queensryche.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Iced Earth.
Same thing.
Motorhead.
Ace of Spades.
Carcass.
Don't know this band. Never heard of this band.
Okay. Dio.
Same. Never got into the albums from Dio.
Okay. Van Halen.
Same.
All right. The Beatles.
I would say the White Album.
Okay. Rush.
Hemisphere.
Opeth.
Never got into listening to Opeth albums that
Okay.
much.
King Diamond.
Same.
All right. Iron Maiden.
I would say, what's the album already? The title with the one with I would say The Number of the Beast.
Okay. And just a few more. Megadeth.
Oh, I really like Megadeth. Peace Out.
Anthrax.
Not got into much
Okay.
album and tracks albums.
And Slayer.
Rain and Blood.
And last one, Kiss.
Oh shit. Destroyer.
All right. Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
Great.
We've only got a few more questions to ask. This next one here is about fandom. We are all fans of other artists. What is your favorite piece of memorabilia?
I didn't get a question. Sorry, man.
That's
Maybe
fine.
because of the French barrier or
Oh,
the
that's
language.
fine. We everyone likes other artists. We're all fans of other people. Do you
for
have,
sure.
have you ever gotten something from another artist, maybe something signed? The term in English is memorabilia, meaning something, a memory, you keep it,
Yeah,
like an autograph or a poster, a
Guitar
t-shirt,
pick, anything.
a something, or a
yeah.
pick,
Okay, okay.
guitar pick, something that you got from another band that's really special or important to you. Do you have
Okay, perfect.
a favorite piece like that?
That makes total sense. All right, that's better for me.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for
Yeah.
defining the terms.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, I don't have anything. I don't have any objects that I keep or something that comes from another artist or something. I, I don't have this. I mean, I think I'm not into objects that much and like sign things. I feel uncomfortable when it comes to meeting someone that I really admire. I feel like I don't want to disturb. I will keep like observing in a distance, but I don't want to fucking be annoying, and
Hmm.
you know what I mean.
Sure,
So when I
exactly.
meet people that I really admire, I just keep a certain distance, and if it comes to the occasion to speak to that person, to talk, it's really just a gift for me. For example, the guy from Priestess that I really like, really enjoy, really admire. I didn't really, I just watched him from a distance, and he spoke to one of my friends, just got into the conversation, and I just cherish those moments. But I'm not materialistic. I'm not into keeping objects, keeping things. Really want to keep the memory in here. It's really what's most valuable for me.
Hmm.
Change. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and the last question. Um, do you have any hidden talents? If so, tell us about one.
Um, you know, uh, teaching is a hidden talent for me. It's not a hidden talent, but most people when they come to our shows, they see a musician and they don't see a teacher.
Hmm.
I'm a really caring person, and I think I really like teenagers. I think they are so fucking real and honest, and they they are pure at that age. They just don't give a fuck. So that's what I really like, and I, I I tend to be really understanding with them, and they tend to trust me a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this is one of my hidden talent, and interesting tend to try to interest them to the world in which we live in, by teaching them geography, history, and to uh, inspire them into thinking the society in a different way, maybe,
Yeah.
or understanding the major um, challenges that we will meet in the future as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the challenges that of our world finally.
Hmm.
And yeah, I really like when they to see the stars in their eyes, and see their interest in what I can offer them. Um, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's one of my maybe inspire people into thinking, thinking society, and yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it.
That's wonderful. I think the best teachers are there to teach you not what to think, but how to think. If you can teach them
Exactly.
to think critically about the world, about themselves, and to know that they are comfortable enough in coming to you and being vulnerable, that's a really special place. And
Yeah, totally. I
yeah,
think so too.
I
And that I heard that you are a teacher as well. Is that it?
yeah, I teach English. at the college level. I teach freshmen, college freshmen, and teach developmental composition and regular composition classes. So, and
Amazing, man.
yeah, I really do like it, and because I try to find a really simple way. You know, my mantra is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And for me, not them, because I try to teach the way I would want to be taught, and I boil down, you know, because no one wants to take composition. I get that. No one likes English class. So, but I try to help them understand and give them a really simple process and help them understand why they're learning how to write so that they can find success in every college writing situation they'll find themselves in. And once they internalize that process, they really are like, they feel free, like, oh my God, I wish I'd learned this before. And now I feel so much better about how to write.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's, you know, and that's wonderful, you know.
Yeah, it's like basic method to express what you think. And if you can express what you think and also express opinions, you can also exercise like critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
which is a major importance in our society, especially that more and more the facts are less and less important in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, and our
You have
educational
to,
system, at least in the States, is geared toward not making critical thinkers, but obedient servants and workers.
Yeah.
And that's the
yeah,
problem, you know.
and it's
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing everywhere, man. It, I think Canada and the United States are really similar in so many ways, and I think um, the Western civilization and Western culture uh, face the same challenges in terms of education. We 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 need workers. We need like the society to roll economically speaking, but we also need people that will think the society and to shape it and to be like if well, yeah to exercise like critical thinking, to exercise to make people think in an ethical way. So
Mhm.
yeah, this is really cool.
Hmm.
I think yeah, it's one of my hidden talents to
Nice.
work with those
Great.
kind of.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So before we head out, could I ask you to do a bumper for our show? You know, introduce yourself. This is Fred from Sons of Arrakis, and you are watching heavy metal horror, you know, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Of
Excellent.
course, man.
I'll let you take it away.
What's up? I'm Fred from Sons of Arrakis from Montreal, Canada, and you're listening to heavy metal horror.
Fantastic.
Is
Thank you
this
so
good?
Thank you.
much.
Good
Thank you.
enough?
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great.
I want to thank you again for spending some time with us, Fred. We wish you the very best of success on this tour, and hopefully one day Chop and I will just
Yeah.
drive on up and come see you. We would love that.
That would be really, really cool to see you guys in Montreal for sure, man. Hit me up whenever you're on the road, whenever you want to go to Canada, Toronto, when we are often in Toronto as well. So yeah, if you plan to come, just hit me up, and then that would be really fun, really
That would
fun.
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Give you an
Well, we're
honor.
gonna do
Yeah.
our outro, and we're gonna invite you to bring up the horns with us. Okay, so here we're
And
gonna go.
you guys just want to say also one other thing. Thank you very much for inviting me. It was really fun. It was really challenging for me. Um, needed to practice my English anyways.
You did a fantastic job, and
Thank
You did
you
a
we're
great job.
honored that you spent time
very
with us. We
much.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we're
Um,
privileged. Thank you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we're just really big fans of your music. So it's
Thank you
really
very much.
great music to get high to, I have to say, you know.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a
This is a really good
big
compliment.
cannabis fan. So all right, we're gonna
That's
oh sorry, go ahead.
all right, man.
No,
And yeah, I mean,
oh, you're breaking up. Sorry, the
if
audio.
you're a cannabis fan, it's all really good stuff. Can
So
you
yeah,
hear me?
I can hear you now. So what is Canada's take on cannabis? What is it legal there? Is it illegal?
No, it's legal actually. From Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean to the Arctic to until the U.S. border is totally legal to buy cannabis. So yeah.
Nice. Fantastic.
So yeah,
Might move into Canada. Yeah.
Well, it's finally starting to spread around in the States. I think we got wise of like how much money there is to be made in a safe industry where there's regulations and it's made by people who know what they're doing, because there's botanists and horticulturalists and there's so many strains. And if you can, you're not buying it from the cartel, you're not buying it from some drug dealer, you're going to a state sanctioned
Yeah.
and government approved facility where it's a good product. So I'm glad, I'm
exactly,
grateful finally
exactly,
to get some access to cannabis. So yeah.
exactly, man. This is really interesting for that. It's like not criminals that will benefit from this. That's actually the state. So yeah,
Right.
maybe so.
Well, that's good,
Maybe it
'cause
is a better idea,
yeah, well, that's good, because then we will
and
certainly
to
be bringing
prevent
some
also
cannabis up.
like the consumption for younger people.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
and it takes away the power of the cartels. It also, the states and where we have
Yep.
free access to cannabis, you see a lot of opioid use go down. Which is great.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
I think
So
so too, man.
okay, well, we're
I
gonna
think
get
it's
out
a
of
really
here.
good idea.
Oh, sorry, I keep on talking over you, Fred. I'm sorry. My apologies.
No, it's totally fine, man. It's just it cuts a little bit, and I had a hard time to follow, but it's totally good, man.
Good. Okay, well, we are going to do our outro, and then we were going to get out of
Yeah.
here. So you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. And if you're on Facebook, you got to look for Sons of Arrakis. And our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Top.
You've been watching and listening to, all right, Fred, bring up the
Get
horns.
the horns up.
Heavy metal
all.
horror.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.